Eid Mubarak to all my Muslim friends. Happy holidays to you, my brothers and sisters all over the world. I have a neighbor who is a Muslim. I salute you, my brother. Enjoy the festival. Enjoy the feast of sacrifice. I hope Allah has been good to you. Allah Akbar to you, my friend. Yes, Eid al-Haidha. Haidha. I'm trying to pronounce it well. It's a good Friday to my Muslim friends. To the Sabbatarians, it's a good Friday, and I hope you have a good Sabbath. I begin by good wishes, because salutations always is a good way to begin a conversation and a segue into what is important maybe to you. Weather-wise, man, Northwest has turned on the oven. It's warm out there. The weekend is predicted or projected to be a warm weekend. We're gonna be suffering a little bit. So you start now, you'll be better. So don't wait until when you are way down on your fluid, then you run for this. This is a good time. So cheers to you, my friends and sisters, and everybody above and below. Is you in Tukoriada? Let's just dive into Tukoriada, another episode, another highlight, another celebration on a Friday, and we're gonna just fly over to Rome, because the Romans have something to tell us about Wanda Diamond League that just finished a few hours ago. If you have an interest and you've been following my previews, let me update you. Sit down, take a seat, subscribe if you haven't, click that view button, click that like button. It's an easy process. Let me do the hard work. You do the easy work. Just enjoy the moment. That's all you're doing, and I appreciate you. Let's appreciate each other. Let's embrace one another for a second. Take a moment. Give yourself some love and your neighbor. We need neighbors, man. We need neighbors. We desperately are in recession when it comes to relationships. We are in recessions in relationships. We are in recession in friendship. We are in decline in all these community gatherings and sharing and exchanging goodness among living beings. We are even in recession in environment. Look out. Do you like what you see? Do you like how it feels like? Well, that was again another topic for another day where we're gonna go global, but we're still global here because, man, Wanda League. I tell you this, my friend, if you're into athletics, into sports, nothing gets better than Grand Prix or Diamond League in Europe. I think Europe has just done a good job. Michael Johnson has done a good job. I have to give him that love. I've been kind of on the fence with GST in America. It doesn't just live up to the hype in Europe. So when we're in Rome, the Romanians or the Romans and the Romans entertainers, those whoever you want to call them at that time. And there was wonderful performance, incredible performance. And I'll just give you some highlights to just make you salivate. 100 meters is always an event that you don't hear much from me about. I'm not biased against it, but I think it's too quick for me to even know what's going on, maybe because I wasn't. Remember, you can only talk about what you are good at, which was middle distance, 800, is my event. And so when it comes to 100 meters, I'll just tell you what happened. What happened was Trayvon Bromwell blasted off the blocks, and he was never to be seen. I think he had a false start. I think I did. I saw a false start. He was twinching on the blocks. They say he had what they call the max takeoff split seconds you're allowed. He was on the edge. They should have called those athletes back. They didn't. He wins in 9:84, best time in the world this year. Behind him was a Cameroonian, Emmanuel Eseme. Feneded Omanyala of Kenya is still relevant. He's the only hope. I call it the Kenyan sprinter's hope. Feneded Omanyala was third, 10:01. That's all I'll tell you in 100 meters. But there was a false start. I can see with my eyes. And if you go back and replay, there's a false start. He got away with it. The American got away with it, but he won anyway. That's 100 meters straight up. And I think my interest was in 400 because I did a 400. So you see, I'm biased. Well, you are biased too. You know you're not watching me all the time. You have other things you watch. So, but I watched 400. And I think I watched it because Quincy Hall, the Olympic gold medalist, was there. The new upcoming South African, Zigithi Nene, had ran 43-2 in Nairobi. And the field was still deep. We had Busang Kolen Kebenistashipi from Botswana. And then we had the old-timer from Grenada, Kirani James. You have no idea. This guy has been around the block. He's an old-timer, okay? And we still had Charles Dobson, the Brit. So the field was quite decent. So, and it lived up to the decency I've just said. Quincy Hall is a very interesting Olympic gold medalist. If you watch the final in the Olympics, you think Quincy Hall, the American with his gold teeth, is done. The reason why he has gold teeth is that he just likes to win. So Nene has him with about 10 meters to go. Out of nowhere, Quincy Hall pulls something out of his bag, edges him on the tape. It was a photo finish, 44:22 to 44:23. Photo finish, good race, good 400, lived up to it. I think it's an experience for Nene, the South African. He could have leaned and won. He could have passed Quincy Hall and put a little gap on him, but he allowed him to linger around. His experience, he's still young. I don't think I've heard of the guy Nene, but Quincy Hall is a winner, man. He's a killer. He won it. Nice for him. Quickly, let's go to 1500. Man, I talked about it a little bit, and my predictions are always not bad. I usually look at the field. I mentioned this guy from France. Last time I misspoke. I say Spain is a French guy, as the Dean Habs, H-A-B-Z. I mentioned it because he was in the finals in the Olympics. He's always in the mix at the last part of the race. And he was in the mix in the last part of the race because 152, the first 800, everybody was still there. The pace was decent. I don't know why the commentators were anti-pacemakers. The pacemakers went 56. They came back with another 56, 152, 800 meters. That's decent. I don't know why they were very edgy on that. Oh, it's too slow, it's not very smooth. I mean, the reason why I think they were saying that is because nowadays they seem to have too many athletes in an event, like 1500. They had like, I think they had 14. That's a big field. So you have to stretch them out, which they did. 152, they came back, and it was a good race until 200 meters to go. I knew it was going to be some of those races whereby you're like, who is the winner here? Timothy Cheruiyot. I mentioned him slightly in my preview that he's been around. He's a 2019 world champion. 3:28 was the winning time. He won in Doha. Last time we had the world championship there. So he's an experienced racer. And I think he's not young anymore. If you look at the guy since 2019, in an athlete's lifespan, that's a lot of, he's been around for quite a while. He took the lead there, and I was like, man, what is he up to? Where's the young one? Where is Raymond what is this, the other guy? The young Kenyan, Brian Coleman was there. It was a good field. Where was the other Kenyan? The other Kenyan was Reynold Cheruiyot, who ran at 26 in the 5K in Doha. I think he's naive. He thinks he's going to come back on everybody and wins. Guess who wins? He's a French guy. Habs leans on the tape and beats Timothy Cheruiyot 329, 329, 73 and 74, 72 and 73. Timothy Cheruiyot, to be honest with you, as a Kenyan athlete, I think we have to bow down and expect this kind of times from him. He's been around the block. I understand he's changed some coaches around his camp. For him to run this great time at this time of the year, I think it could be the hope in Kenya because but again, we've been doing horrible in the World Championship the last few years in 1500 meters. Is he the hope again here? Like I said, the hope for sprinters is Omanyala. There's some events or some disciplines in track that I'm noticing Kenyans are just, they can't compete with the best in the world. 1500 is one of those I haven't mentioned very much because when you got Yehope, you got Neguse, you got Joshka from Britain. Kenyans, we haven't been doing very well. Timothy Cherio runs 3:29.75. The French runs 3:29.72. That was 1500 for you guys. I think the event that I was gonna just spend most of my time on is the 5,000 meters women. Is the Wanda girl. Is the world lead. She's the one. And I'm talking about Beatrice Chebet. Sometimes we don't appreciate, maybe we're not paying attention to greatness when we see it. But for me, I do. I think I've spoken about Beatrice Chebet more than any athlete here. Faith Kipyegon, I don't know what she's up to. Somebody was saying that Nike is doing something special for her to break the mile somewhere in this universe. I don't care about that. I want to see Faith Kipyegon racing so we can see what she's up to. I mean, we want to be entertained, Faith. Captain Faith Kipyegon, get out of there. Nike is a project. They'll be around. You'll be fading. I hope not. I just want to see Faith Kipyegon racing. That's what I'm advocating here. I haven't seen her in a while. Maybe she has a career that is projected by and managed by you know who. But Beatrice Chebet in 5,000 meters, the pace was incredible. For me, I think for you guys listening to me, you might not understand what I'm saying. But in the beginning of the race, there's always what they call the lead pack. The lead pack is the group of people, maybe there are 1 or 2, 3, who are told to go out and kind of stretch out the field. They did a phenomenal job. The Ugandan, let me catch the Ugandan name here. The Ugandan, Namonyongo, I think she's an 800-meter runner. She has a 150, she's a 157 800-meter runner. An incredible work into about 2,000 meters that she took them through. Very decent pace, 68. I think it was 69, then they started toying with 68 per lap, 400 meters. Yeah, Winnie Nanyondo from Uganda did an incredible job. And then I think it was up to Akidor, the Kenyan. She's a marathon runner, she's a 10K runner. Incredible pacer. I have to give credit to people who made this happen for Beatrice Chebet because they gave her that comfort. You know, the lead pack gives you that place where you can relax, let them do the dirty work, And incredible race. I think the first 3K was decent. I didn't mark the times there, but after that, when Akidor dropped, there's something I noticed as an observer. I think Kenyans suffer from what I call the Ethiopian irritation syndrome. Did I talk to you about that before? I did. Ethiopian Kenyans, they are friends, but they don't friends on the track. And Gudei Segei was there. So were the rest of the Ethiopians. And they were all over Beatrice Chebet after the 3K. I think we had like 4 or 5 Ethiopians on our back. They were breathing hard. I can name, there was Freyenia Halo was there. The young one was there. There's Berke Hayalom was there. Of course, Gudei was there. So there's that thing about, if you remember Haile Gabriel Selassie back in the days with Moses Tanui, Ethiopians, they tend to want to be just like, have you seen a fly that is just hanging around, you just go on your face, and you're like, get out of here, but they still come, or a bee that's chasing you, and it's coming and kind of poking you in the eye and giving you this irritation. For us, Kenyans, we suffer from that. And I could tell that as much as I've always said that Gudei Segei and Beatrice Chebet are friends, when it comes to how they race, I don't think Beatrice Chebet cares for Gudei when she's on her back, because they are always on their back and they don't want to go ahead of her because they are waiting for the moment to ambush. It's happened before, and we've been beaten by Ethiopians so many times. So we have that PTSD from Ethiopians in any race. And I noticed that with Beatrice Chebet. And so when the pacemaker was in front of her drop, Beatrice Chebet had to deal with these Ethiopian neighbors and racers and runners from the back. Trust me, it's part of the game. But I think we have PTSD with Ethiopians. I'm just telling you the facts here. You might not see it, but I see it a lot. You can see the psychological warfare going on. And Beatrice Chebet kind of gets irritated. You can tell in her face. She's like, she's right behind me. Good Day was just running. She was grimacing in the back. And so for Kenyans and for Beatrice Chebet, this is what she did. She had to run Good Day through the wall, which she did. She put a 66 lap. I'm talking of seconds. 66 lap, 366. Good Day hit the wall. She crashed, obliterated, dropped like a bad apple. It's like the wheel came off. The wheel came off. Good Day was done. All the Ethiopians were dropped when she put in that intensity. It worked. It worked so bad that the gap went from, they were right here, to 100 meters. I think it went to 120 meters. They were dropped like bad apple. So Beatrice Chebet now is in what we call twilight. She's by herself. She's doing her thing. But I think that those 366 took a toll on her slightly. And so when she had that gap, she kind of relaxed and says, oh, I've dropped those, those bees that were flying all over my back, the Ethiopians. Sorry, Ethiopians, you are like in quite annoying races. And I think that's when she dipped in her pace. I think she went at 68 and at 68. That means she was slowing down. And after she did that, of course, she had a big gap, and she wins by about 15 seconds. I think the second, she won by about, I'm right, 16 seconds, because Froweny Haelu came second in 14:19. The winning time was second best time in the world, 14:03:69. She almost broke the world record of 14:01 that Good Day has. The tall Good Day I'm talking about. The Good Day is again, her friend. The one was she dropped her like a bad apple. Yeah, she wins by 16 seconds. And the home girl, the home crowd pleaser, Nadia Patoclete, the Italian, broke the national record 14:23. That 5K goes down as one of my favorite events coming out of Rome. The weather was nice, the crowd was incredible, but I think they were cheering more for the local girl, Nadia. But it was good for Chebet. She ran through it. My sense of Chebet is that she'll break the 14-minute barrier. It will be soon. I think it's going to be this year. That's my prediction. In fact, she said it herself. I'm going under 14. How, when? She needs good conditions. For me, she needs Good Day in the race. She needs competition race. There's a time that Beatrice Chebet is just in a twilight. She's just taken everybody to the twilight. She drops them. But she needs somebody to keep pushing. Somewhere after 3K, if somebody can push her to about 4K, then she has maybe 1,000 meters to go by herself. She'll do it. I think she has the energy. She's 5 feet. She's a running machine. I don't see her being beat in the World Championship. You can take it to the bank right now. Nobody's beating this woman in the World Championship. Unless, I don't know unless what. Anyway, that's my prediction. She's on top of the game. She's winning by a mile. She's destroying the field. Honestly, other than that irritation, that bee from Ethiopia irritation, there was no competition. She's in a class of her own. Give it to her, give her they should even give her the medal right now for the World Championship. World Championship can be tricky. I'm talking about predictions. And things can happen between now and when we go to Tokyo, Japan for the World Championship. Did I say anything more than I needed to say? No, I don't think so. I think I'm on pace. I like what I did. Like I say, Valerie Allman won the discus. She won it by 3 meters. No competition. I think the second place was what was the second place was discus was Jamie Perez from Cuba and Joredi van Klegen from Netherlands. That's discus. Wow, Walla release. I think Valerie right now, the art of techniques in the discus are way above everybody else. She knows how to do it. She delivers. American Darling, as I told you, is on top of her game. 69.29 to 66. I mentioned that. 66. I'm talking of meters, not feet. All right? Again, to everybody who enjoys these episodes, tell you what, and this Tuko Riada, talk to me. Tell me you love it, because you can click, you can say hello. There's some comments I'm hearing about some episodes I did way back about mental health with the Echo of Engliston. I appreciate those people who have made some comments. I appreciate people who have talked about, made me give you some comments to talk to you. I'm willing to chat. I mean, it's a good way of creating a community. Okay, I appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. I have to continue drinking water. I have a long weekend this weekend. I hope I make it. 4 games this weekend. Wish you well. Wish you all the blessings of Hidul Hel Hadi. That's all I could say to my Muslim friends. See you later.